All right, so what we're going to talk about in this video is the PDI Mobile Connect app, which is the app that your canvassers will receive turf assignments and Canvas projects that you've assigned out to them. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is when you log in, you're going to log in and it's going to send you to a My Assignments page. So if you have multiple assignments, as you see that I do, they will show up by custom turf. As you can see, sample A and sample B of the Southwest Fresno Canvassing Project, or by precinct if you've decided to assign turf out by precincts. A couple notes from this page. One, if you click the Get Directions button, the app will show you a map from your location to your turf or your precinct. If I click on a specific assignment, I'm going to click on this precinct right here. It's going to take me to three different views. There's Street View, there's Map View, which will show a map of all of the different households, and then there's People View, which is generally just an alphabetical list of all of the voters on your list. I'm going to go back to Map View. Map View is generally going to be the easiest if you're out hitting doors. It shows all of the different households on a map, and all of the different households show up as different colors depending on how canvassed this turf has been. So a greenhouse, for example, means that it has not been canvassed. You're good to go. You're good to go talk to those voters and knock on that door. A yellow house means it was a non-contact, like somebody attempted to knock on the door, but nobody answered and it was marked not home, or a canvasser talked to one voter on the list in that house, but not another, leaving it partially canvassed. And then red means that the house has been fully canvassed. All the voters in that household have been talked to, and they've all been surveyed, and they all have responses. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this household right here. And if you click on the household, it's going to bring up all of the voters that are in that household. So as you can see, there are several different voters in this household. And if you look at each of the voters, underneath their name, it will show a few different things. One, it's going to show the age. It's going to show the gender. You'll see here for the voters that it says PAV. That means that they're a permanent absentee voter. And then every voter is going to have something called VTS assigned to them. VTS is the number of times that they voted in the last 5 statewide elections. So it goes from VTS 0 to VTS 5, with VTS 5 being the most times a voter has voted. So it's helpful information to understand the propensity of the voters that you're talking to. A really important note that I want to make, you'll see this orange Not Home button at the top. If you press that Not Home button at the top of this address, it will apply to every single voter in that household if you have multiple voters for the household. And then for the other options, as you can see here, there's moved, refused, gated, deceased. If I click any one of those other options, it will similarly apply to every voter in the household. So what I'm going to show you how to do is I'm going to show you if, for example, you talk to 1 or 2 voters in the household and that you learned that the other voters have moved, and how you can mark individual dispositions and responses for voters that you talk to. So if I were to talk to the voter at the top of this list, I would click Begin Survey, and then you're going to see whatever script or survey that you have selected right here. I'm going to click Next and answer the questions. I ask the voter, can we count on your support? They say they're a strong supporter. I ask them if they'd like a yard sign. They say yes. I ask them if they'd like to volunteer. They say absolutely. This would be a great conversation to have at the doors. And then I say thank you so much. And once I finish, it's going to bring me to an option if there are multiple voters in this household, which there are, to either finish with this house or talk to more people here. So let's say that I can go down the list. The second person is here, and wow, this is a great day. They're a strong supporter. They would love a yard sign. They want to volunteer. And then I ask this voter, I say, may I speak to the other 2 voters in this household, and they say, well, would love to get them for you, but they have since moved. So instead of marking moved using this other options button at the top, because that would apply to all voters in the household, I'm going to click this more info button, which will bring me to a specific page for each individual voter. And I'm going to click disposition for this individual voter. I'm going to say, okay, well, this one has moved, and I've also learned that this one has moved as well. So there's only 2 voters in the household that I was able to talk to, but I was able to mark them all individually as moved. Some other things, if I click on this more info, that you can do besides marking an individual disposition is you can also add a comment, loves to talk about education, for example. And that can be just very helpful information. You can change your phone number, their email, for example, and then you can click done. So I am done with this household. I'm going to go back, and what you're going to see now is that on my map view, the household has now updated. It is now red, meaning that it has been fully canvassed. And if I go back here to my assignments page, what I will show you is a couple different options. If I go to the assignment precinct, I can sync it. That's especially helpful if I've been knocking on doors and I've not had service, or I have been in airplane mode to conserve battery and I just want to sync the list. And so the other thing that I want to show you is if I click the top right 3 buttons, there's an option to sync the list. There's an option to call the campaign. Again, this is if canvassers have questions. There's colorblind mode, and then there's some other options that I'm not going to talk about during this video. One last thing that I will show you, if I go back to my walk list, if I go back to my map view, if I click the top 3 buttons in the right hand corner, I also have the option to either list addresses just all, or I could list them as even or odd. This is helpful if I'm out talking to voters with a partner, which often many people go out with partners, as we know. So this is a really helpful tool to be able to partner up and split up different turf. So that is the mobile app in a nutshell. Now your canvassers are ready to go knock on doors. They're prepared to have great conversations. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.